So after the election, I was listening to one of my information sources. I have a few. I heard this theme of hope. The host was talking about we can hope he doesn't do this. We can hope Trump doesn't get us into war. We can hope that he doesn't nuke some country that he doesn't like because they, slighted the Trumpster in one way or another. I mentioned this to my wife, and she said she's been seeing a lot of that on the net as well. Well, that's what we're at. That's where we're at, people. That's what it's all about now, is hope. People are hoping and praying, okay, that this country will not implode. And there's good reason for hope. I mean, this whole theme of hope is not without good reason, because there's going to be a massive sucking sound, if it's not going on already, from the collective asses of this country. No need to be politically correct here. It is what it is. Don't shoot me. I'm only the messenger. So let's take a look at Trump's potential cabinet picks. Chris Christie, Rudy Giuliani, Ben Carlson, Sarah Palin, Jeff Sessions. Okay, could it be the first time, maybe not the first time, but at least in my lifetime, that we are going to have potential cabinet picks that at least Chris Christie will be indicted. The Bridgegate verdicts were sent down, delivered either the week of or the week prior to the election. Oh yeah, those people are going to jail. Okay, Chris Christie's next. It's what we call sequitur. It follows. And let's talk about Rudy Giuliani. Okay, Rudy Giuliani, he's not a criminal. I believe he's straight up. I mean, he's a criminal in a lot of different ways, but none that you can send him to jail for. But he associates, or at least was associated with Bernie Kerik. Rudy Giuliani comes with baggage, a lot of baggage. Okay, Bernie Kerik was got indicted and went to jail. He's a felon. And this is who Giuliani put in head of security, or some high position, I can't remember which. But let's talk about Giuliani a little bit more. Remember him? He's the guy who put the command center in one of the World Trade Centers. Now, come on, people. The World Trade Center had been bombed before, what was it, 1992? People, he put the command center that takes care of this kind of stuff, all the operations, the logistics, everything. He put it in a place where it was vulnerable. He's a cabinet pick. Okay, Ben Carlson, Sleepy. Man, this guy, they probably want to put him in Secretary of Health or Board of Education. I'm thinking Secretary of Health. Women, kick your reproductive rights out the door. Flush them down the toilet. Done. And then, of course, there's Sarah Palin. Okay, she can see Russia from Alaska. That's her claim to fame. And not only that, not being able to complete a sentence, a coherent sentence, is what she does. She can't put a sentence together if you paid her to, or if she wanted to. If you put a gun to her head and told her to put a clear, concise, and succinct sentence together, she wouldn't be able to do it. Remember that? What you mean, Charlie? I'll get back at ya. All right, and then there's Jeff Sessions. Okay, Jeff Sessions is no friend of civil rights. If we think the Supreme Court, well, we don't think. The Supreme Court did gut a very important part of the civil rights. Well, Jeff Sessions will kick it. He'll just strangle it to death, choke it to death, and it will die. 1964 up to now, all done, dead. So, oh, and I forgot my favorite guy. How could I? Newt Gingrich. Remember him? contract with America while he was thieving and robbing. I think he had to pay something upwards of $300,000 for his crime. Okay, and he's in line to get a post. He got big baggage, you know, as big as his fat face. So anyway, there we go. There we have it. There's your cabinet pick. Now let's talk about what this cabinet, and of course they have the Senate and the House of Representatives. Let's talk about what's going to happen. This is what people are crying about. This is what people are hoping and praying for. Okay, and hoping and praying that the worst case scenarios will not come to light. Forget about it. Social Security insurance, gutted and privatized. There you go. Medicare, gutted and cut, privatized. Medicaid, gutted and cut with austere cutbacks. Nothing. You get nothing. You know, if you're poor, it sucks to be you. And if you didn't think that was true up until now, because it has been, well, now it's true to the 10th power. Now, they may not come after your pension, but what the hell? They already took the Social Security. They cut that. Okay, and they already took your Medicare, they cut that. You're going to need that pension to go a long way, a bit further. You know, it's like hamburger helper here. Then there's a Board of Education. We have this expression called wage slaves. In other words, you're just working for pittance, so you might get some crumbs. Well, that has never been more true than today, because they will come after the Board of Education. We don't need no stinking unions. We can have teachers working for $7 an hour. Yeah, people. Yeah, middle class. You ready for that one? I hope that, see, now what will happen is this is the extreme dividing of America. The only people that will be able to afford their education will be the affluent and the well-off. The rest of you, you'll get some kind of education, but it's probably like in pre-1950s when you were expected after you got out of the 8th grade, you went to work on the farm, people. That's what you did. Asses and elbows, that's what I'm talking about, baby. All right, now see, then there's the post office. They're coming for the post office. I should have put the post office in first order, because you can believe that. They already tried to do it. They will go after, they will privatize the post office, give it to their buddies, okay, and that will be it. Now, I'm rural, and I won't be getting my mail. My mail is spotty now. I have these people, what we have here is okay, you have the post office, but you have private contractors that deliver the mail out here. Okay? One day, you know, looking for my veterans benefit check, they delivered it to somebody else. And I can't tell you how many times I've had stuff delivered to me that's not mine. It just happened last week. Now, you got to become the post office man. What the hell is that? They're coming for it, baby. All you people that are looking for that pension, well, I already talked about that. But people who are thinking that you had a job in government, a good chance at a good life working for government, that's done. They're coming after it. That's going to be no more. So, and, you know, that's just for starters. Let's talk about banks. Banks weren't lending any money, as it were. Well, they had to be because of all the building that's going around here. I mean, they're building like crazy. But mortgage rates will go up. I think it's, what, 3.75? I don't know with the highest, the state with the highest mortgage rate. But it's going up. It's going to go up. How about your 401ks? How are they looking? Okay? They take a hit overnight? Yes, they did. And it's not going to stop. I see that I'm thinking that this country will go into extreme austerity. Okay, these people are going to say what I mentioned before: if you ain't got none, sucks to be you. So, and then there's the military. Well, our military is broken. It's broken. Let's take the scandal that happened a little while ago, not just recently, where a recruiter was signing up military personnel. They were re-upping is what we call it. and getting, you know, a hefty bonus, $15,000. Okay? The military is so broke that this guy, this recruiter, he was, in order to have his job, he was giving everybody bonuses. And there were some people, as the story goes, some people weren't supposed to. They weren't qualified for those bonuses. You have to be qualified for those bonuses. Your service has to be pretty much, you know, nice, bright, and shiny. No marks. Okay. And I suppose this guy, I guess what he was doing was signing up anybody. Remember, when we went to war on hook or crook, they lowered the bar so far that you were basically getting idiots into the military. Now, who wants to give an idiot, you know, who just came in long enough to get benefits or whatnot, now you're going to give him a bonus, and that's what happened. But here's the thing. Then they turned around, the Pentagon turned around and said, we want the money back. What? And people were paying too. Some people were paying before it got stopped. Okay? That's a broken military. Only a broken military would do something like that. Okay? Give bonuses to people who were not deserving or qualified in order to keep them in the military. That means you don't have adequate qualified people to take their places. Now, let's talk a little bit about Russia and Putin. Trump loves Putin. Putin is in bed with China. America, Russia, China. That means the South China Sea, and I expect it will be announced shortly, that China will be saying, we claim the South China Sea for China. Period. Done. You're not going to get any resistance from Trump. Remember, Trump does business in China. He makes ties and whatever he does. He does business with China. Secondly, you have a broken military. You don't have anybody to fight wars. So how are you going to do that? Well, you know what? Can you say draft? Yeah. Everybody all happy? Draft. And this draft will probably include every able-bodied man up to the age of 50. No questions. No, no skipping your obligation. No deferments. That's what they call it. Everybody's going. Hey, it's your America now, baby. It's your America. And a little bit of history about Russia and what it all means. Russia, the United States and China. Russia taught the Chinese combat tactics, Air Force combat tactics. China, in turn, taught Vietnam. That's what we're up against, people. That's what a broken military is up against, okay? So there's a lot of hoping and praying that we don't get into it with China. Because now China's able to just say, hey, like I said, it's ours. Okay, you hearing that massive sucking sound yet? Now, the remarkable part about all this is that people are claiming that, and they're in shock. You know, you went to bed Wednesday night or Tuesday night, and you were just, some people said they didn't sleep. Other people are crying. I mean, this is real. People looked at this country and said, what the fuck? And righteously so. Righteously so. Because people are seeing worst case scenario. That's what we're dealing. That's the deal we're dealing in now. Worst case scenario, people. Okay? Nobody knows what will happen. And I guess, I don't guess, people thought that this was in the bag. You got your media. Your media wasn't interested in telling you about what could happen, what if, and what will be the consequences and repercussions of a Trump presidency. They didn't tell you about that. All they wanted was a horse race. And the people went around, Hillary's got it. Hillary's got it in the bank. I remember one report, well, she's got the electoral votes hooked up. Look it. None of that mattered to me until I saw the electoral votes. And what I saw wasn't what I was hoping on at that point. Now, today, There is no hope. This is worst case scenario time. This is 0 hour, people. This is where we're at. And so those people out there with the hope, the theme of hope and all that, are, you know, pretty much in denial of, hey, what just happened here? And what they forgot is that America's attraction and appeal to racism, hatred, and bigotry and prejudice. The people in Ohio did not so much as vote for going back to work, and people in Ohio and Pennsylvania did not so much as vote for going back to the coal mines. They voted because the message that Trump sent out there is it's not your fault. It is the fault of the brown and the blacks. And they bought it up. They ate it up. I'm telling you, they got spoon-fed and they sucked it right down. And here we are. Okay? And I'll tell you something about their thought. They're going to find out real quick. In fact, they're already finding out. Like my wife was telling me about the air conditioning people, Carrier. Those people voted for Trump, baby. They did. Those stupid-ass people voted for Trump. And now they're sitting there hoping that your jobs out here's the clutch, man. Here it is. Here it is, right? Signed, sealed, and delivered, baby. The Carrier people already said it's not if or when your jobs are going. Your jobs are going. They're done. You're done. And these people voted for Trump. You know what? They'll only have themselves to blame. And that's what it is. And so with that, I have to say, it's all over but the crying. So let's pay attention. Let's see what we can do. I don't have any hope. I see the worst case scenario. Sometimes I feel like, you know, when the people are there hoping, I recall Nazi Germany when the Jews were sitting there saying, should we go? And then there was an argument. Well, you know, maybe things will be all right. Look how it turned out for them. Good day and goodbye. Thanks for tuning in.